Hello everyone. In this lecture today, I'm going to talk to you about the mnemonics to remember the differences between sympathetic versus parasympathetic nervous system. And this mnemonic will also help you understand the functions of sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous systems in different body parts. Okay, so consider an example of a person who is running, and on his way he sees the snake. Okay, so this is the situation. So then what happens when a person is running? His heart rate is high. When a person is running, his mouth that gets dry. And as you know, if you are running and if you see the snake on the street, then what happens? Imagine your eyes gets wide open. And if you are running, then of course you cannot urinate, right? So these are some of the things that happen when a person is running. Okay, so just consider, just put these things in your mind, which will help you understand the differences between sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system functions, which I will talk now. So what are the differences then? Okay, so the first difference is that the primary function of the sympathetic nervous system is stimulate fight to a flight response. Okay, fight or flight response, or whereas this function of the parasympathetic nervous system is feed and breathe and then rest and digest response. Okay, here is fight and flight, but here is rest and digest. Okay, so the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous systems, they have exact opposite functions. Okay, so if one is fight and flight, but the other one is rest and digest. Okay, this is the point number one. Another difference is that the sympathetic nervous system, it originates in cranial, thoracic and lumbar regions of central nervous system, whereas parasympathetic nervous system, it originates from cranial and sacral regions of central nervous system. Okay, so third point, the neurotransmitters that are involved in parasympathetic nervous system, that are norepinephrine or noradrenaline and epinephrine or adrenaline, whereas the neurotransmitter of parasympathetic nervous system is acetylcholine. So these are the three differences that you need to remember. So other difference, we will use the mnemonics that I described before to understand the functions of the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system in different organs. Okay. So in sympathetic nervous system, of course, the action is it's a quick response because you're fighting or flying, so it's a quick response, whereas parasympathetic nervous system is a slow response. Okay, now let's use our mnemonics to understand the differences. So when the person is running, so you have to consider that situation in mind. If you are running, then your heart rate is high and metabolic rate is also high. So heart rate increases, metabolic rate increases. This is a sympathetic nervous system. When you know that what happens in sympathetic nervous system, then exact opposite happens in parasympathetic nervous system. So then heart rate decreases, metabolic rate decreases. Okay, so this is heart rate and metabolic rate. Another difference, urinary output. So if you are running, if the person is running, then the person cannot urinate, right? So basically you cannot urinate when you are running, so therefore your urine output decreases. Okay, whereas in parasympathetic nervous system, exact opposite will happen. So the parasympathetic nervous system, it increases urine output. So another difference, I gave you an example. The person was running and he saw the snake. So when a person is running, right, the respiration is high, so then that bronchia are dilated, so bronchial tubules are dilated, whereas the exact opposite happens in parasympathetic nervous system. So it's the bronchioles are constricted, bronchial tubules are constricted. The next is the opening of the dilation of the pupils of the eye. That means if a person is running and he sees the snake on the way, then he opens his eye, right, with shock. So therefore the function is the dilation of the pupil of the eye, whereas in parasympathetic nervous system, the pupils of the eye, the will be constricted. Okay, so the final difference is that the saliva production decreases in sympathetic nervous system. It decreases saliva production. How? Because when you are running, so you can your mouth is dry, so that means the saliva production is decreased, and in parasympathetic nervous system the saliva production is increased. I hope this video was helpful. please consider subscribing our channel for more contents like this. Thank you very much.